Hey guys, just finished a seminar my buddy Elliot's at Open Mat in Toronto. I wanted to do a video talking about passing the open guard. Okay, so conceptually, there's two aspects of passing the open guard I like to break down. Go down. Okay, so the first aspect is passing before there's grips. That's what a lot of people focus on. We're gonna talk about that first. And then the other aspect is passing the positions they put you in, right? So the first thing to understand is when you're trying to pass before grips, basically, go ahead and sit up. He's trying to establish some kind of guard on me, and that's different, right? Could be like a lasso game, like he falls back and puts me in a lasso. Could be a De La Riva game, like, yeah, exactly, gets the ankle. It could be like he comes in on a single leg. So there's a lot of different ways the guy on bottom is trying to entangle you, and often what people are trying to do is they're trying to find a way to kind of get around this guy's guard before he locks them up in a position. And of course, that's a good goal to have, but understand that it's not like an even game, right? Like something like checkers, like, you guys both have the same objective. My objective is to get around his guard and lock him in side control for 3 seconds. His objective is maybe to just get my sleeve or just get my lapel. So you can't expect to always win that game. So of course, I'm gonna go through just a couple loose ways you can try to do this. Like I could come in if he's sitting up and try to go for like a fast knee cut pass. Another common one is like the cross pant grip and lapel, like leg weave style passes, like this. Another one, if the guy's on his back, is like maybe you come in and try to initiate with like Toreando passes, or some guys will come in and try to stack pass or go double unders. And these are good ways to intro into the guard. But another aspect I think people often miss, go ahead and sit up, is that if you understand that the guy's trying to put you in a particular guard he wants, and that game is easier for him to win, right, trying to tie me up, is sometimes for certain people, it's better to, rather than focus on passing before grips, you focus on passing the preferred guard you would like, right? Because what happens is if I end up like going too far ahead, like I want to get to side control, he may lock me up in the preferred position. Maybe he loves to lasso, right? Well, rather than trying to pass before he gets the lasso, I can just go, you know what, I'm just not going to give him the lasso, right? So maybe he's got both hands up in the middle here, and instead of coming in like this, I go, fine, I lead with my leg. Now I know he's like a lasso spider player, so leading with my leg, and I force him to go to a single leg game or a De La Riva game, right? Sure, like this or something. Now I'm gonna try to deal with this position, right? Now, the thing to understand is that depending on your skill level in passing each of those positions, it's gonna dictate what you can do, right? If you don't know how to pass, like say the single leg well, then me stepping in is gonna be a weak option, okay? And that's where there's like this difference between strategy and tactics. Tactics are the moves that you know, right? Strategy is how you choose to implement those. So the longer you train, and obviously people watching the channel are all at different levels, the longer you train, the more positions you will know. So like I know how to pass the De La Riva really well. I know how to pass the reverse De La Riva really well. I know how to pass the spider well, the worm guard, and like X guard. I know all these passes, right? So I can feel comfortable in a lot of positions. But the lower level you are, the more it's important to try to filter the guy to things you do know, right? So maybe you feel kind of comfortable passing like spider, you're good at kind of throwing and stuff, but you have a really hard time when the guy's tied on your legs, right? So I may come in like this and kind of just try to keep my hips back and drive him down. And now he's forced to play spider, but that's okay if I'm good at that, right? So you need to understand when is the time, when you're structuring your training, like understand that like, okay, maybe you're good at passing the spider, and you're good at passing the opening the closed guard, but you're not comfortable at De La Riva. Sometimes it's reasonable to try to avoid that guard, like maybe 50-50, try to not get put there. But eventually, there is positions that are hard to work around, so you need to like develop passing in that position. So what I recommend everyone to do is like, I like to do again, like a lot of specific training and kind of like micro games. So I do a lot of specific training where we might do stuff like, okay, we'll start in De La Riva. Let's turn on this side real quick. You know, where I'll do, okay, we're gonna start in De La Riva, right? So then we spar from here and I try to like pass in some way, hit like a knee cut or whatever, and I develop my passing from this position. And we'll just spar from the De La Riva line. If he sweeps me, we go back. If I pass, we go back, right? And then I'll do the same thing starting from a lasso, right? And identify each of those major grips and learn to shut them down like separately, okay? And then for developing that pre-passing phase, what we'll do is I'll be trying to pass and we stop once he establishes an initial entanglement or I pass, right? So maybe the first time I come in, I hit like a fast knee cut and I get the pass, right? So maybe the next time we come in, we're going here and he establishes the lasso. Well, at that point, we'll just stop, right? Because he's established the lasso. And now we could separate this training by me doing specific training starting in the lasso, right? So you're kind of isolating those objectives. I think a lot of people make a mistake when they're developing their passing. What they do is they try to look for this like broad way of passing that's going to connect everything together. And I think it's easier once you start isolating it into those separate games, like the pre-pass before they establish a guard, and then they have established a guard and how to neutralize that specific guard. It will become a lot easier for you to see it like kind of like a roadmap of where you are. So you enter in, like just run you through it one time, right? I enter in like this and I'm looking for like maybe my knee cut pass, or depends on which ones you like to do. Maybe this one here where I do the cross pant grip and the lapel, you know, whatever. I'm trying to enter that. If you pass, great. If he entangles you, learn to deal with each entanglement, okay? I've been traveling a little bit, so the YouTube videos have been a little bit slower coming out, but I'm gonna put out a couple more this week. If you guys can, comment and let me know which guards are giving you the hardest time passing. Because like I said, I like to break everything down into these micro mini games. So it's really hard to give like overall, like this is how you pass. You have to deal with everything specific, because what I will tell you to do to pass the 50-50 will be very different than what I'm telling you to do to pass the daily HEVA, okay? And if you guys like the content, as always, like, share, subscribe.